Hey, hey, ho, ho.
Merry Christmas.
Bang ding ding, trademark. He come out 6'7" tall. Bang ding ding, one is star. Bang dong ding dong ding dong ding dong ding dong ding dong ding. This is a perfect day.
Woke up to the sound of the garbage truck again. Upstairs neighbor's toilet's leaking on my head. Cars broke down, I missed the bus, there runs a 10. I had a feeling this was a day to stay in bed. I finally left my pad right on the jumbo's cloud roof. A police officer pulled out his gun and said, I said, sir, you got the wrong guy. I guess it's just the perfect day. It's just the perfect day. No, 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 no,
Hey, everybody, welcome back to a really exciting episode of Eggs. Today, you just got me, my boy Mike. Although,
We might have a guest appearing.
may have a
in
special
little bit.
guest show up if you stick with us for a few minutes. So, first of all, happy holidays. We're
Yeah.
getting right up near the holidays. I'm not going to stay away from it. Merry Christmas to those who celebrate Christmas. I'm not
How
afraid
dare
to
you?
say
I'm
it.
offended.
Yeah, I know, right? And
Being an anti-Christmas person, I actually am.
yeah, well, you might be, but you know what? I can't sit around and care about everybody's feelings.
Fine.
So the reason Mike and I got together today is we have got a exciting announcement coming up. The end of the year is not only a beautiful time for friends and family and all these great things, but it also signifies one thing. You know what that is, Mikey?
Omelets?
It is omelets, and you can definitely make them from these. However, what they are is the Eggies.
Oh.
So
yeah.
last year, for everybody who's toughed it out with us for a year of learning and trying to get better at this, we produce an annual, or I should say, Mike produces an annual award show, sort of featuring some of the best and brightest shows, best guests, things like that we had on over the course of the year. And this year will be our second annual, so we're really excited to get into that.
And that's going to be next week?
Yeah, it should run the week of Christmas. It'll actually air the 26th. So while you guys are just chilling around and floating on tryptophan and turkey, you can tune in and catch the Eggy Awards.
Yeah.
So, but what we're doing today is a little bit of a special thing. So as Mike alluded to, we've got a special treat for you in the back half of the show. Special guest, Scott Foster, showed up in the studio just a little bit ago. So we're actually doing this in reverse
Yeah,
order.
it was kind of unplanned.
Yeah, it was unplanned, but
it turned out good. So
yeah, so for people who don't know Scott Foster, he was on the TV show Bering Sea Gold. He was is also a musician. Him and is it his brother?
Ian is his friend, and they just happen to have
the last name.
Yep.
So him and Ian Foster both came on the show last year about this time, almost exactly this time.
Almost a year ago, right
And,
on the dot.
Yeah, and debuted. They had written a fun kind of parody Christmas song. I can't remember what it's called. What's it called?
It was Taking Christmas Back
from Santa Claus. That's right. And so they sort of debuted that on our show last year. And so Scott is back this year with a new take on an old Christmas song. In sort of the same spirit as
Right.
Taking Back Christmas from Santa Claus. So, but lest you think that we're just sort of down on Christmas around here, that's not the case.
That's
outside
why
of
you
Mike.
started with Merry Christmas. Because we can't be a downer the whole time.
That's right. Well, I need people to understand and take it with a grain of salt. So Scott is going to perform his song "Santa Daddy" for us a little later. So stick around. It's a lot of fun. It's pretty good. And we also had a nice little conversation with him leading up to the song. So stay tuned. Check that out.
Yep.
So, but what we wanted to do this week that's a little unique from our regular show is we want to sort of tease our big Eggy Awards show by sharing with you some of our favorite moments of the year and talking a little bit about our nominees. So this will be our nominee announcement show. So the Eggy preview.
Okay.
So what we've got for you are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 categories, not including our best of show category, but unfortunately you're going to have to wait for the Eggies to hear
I feel
that
like best in show just screams fairground and like cattle.
Yeah, it does. But dude, we're eggs, right? I mean, we're eggs. We are at the fair. What are we
This
talking
is the
about?
chicken show.
Yeah, of course. No, we're absolutely at the fair. So anyway, so we've broken our stuff. I mean, we obviously have guests from a really diverse range of backgrounds. So some of these are a little bit of a stretch to wedge into these categories. But I think we did a pretty good job sort of identifying our top shows of the year, and we were able to sort of categorize them out. We've basically got 3 nominees for each of our 5 categories, and we're going to share them with you. We're going to share you all our sort of our nominations, and then tune in next week to find out who the big winners are.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward, I think, right?
Yeah.
I wish we had some envelopes, and you can see me on video, so even just crumpling paper is not going to work. It's not going to trick you into thinking that you've heard our envelopes.
Yeah.
And if we were maybe better prepared for this, we could have like an envelope opening sound effect or something to press. But
Well, I'm pretty good at post-production, so maybe I'll add something.
yeah. So just a little paper crumple before each of these announcements so that we can sort of announce them. So the way that we drilled down and sort of made the decisions on who did what, it doesn't really have anything to do with number of downloads or show performance or any of that kind of thing that you might sort of see as sort of like a traditional measure for something. Rather, these are the guests who we felt like came on and either shared the best of them, like sort of shared their best material. They were a great host. Maybe they checked a box for us sort of personally.
Let's be honest, all of them checked the box for us personally.
Yeah, it's true. And so, but each of these guys, every single one of them are on this list for a reason. Basically, they all, and it's cliche to say it, but it's unfortunate they can't all be winners. But we can't afford to supply so many awards. Got to do that, bored.
Well, no, tired.
Yeah.
That's the word.
Well, I was going to say, for anybody who does catch the back half of this, you may catch us eating sushi burritos. So we are maybe in a little bit of a food coma. Yeah, I'm not sure what they put in there. I don't think so.
Whatever it is, it makes you full really
maybe
fast.
the MSG. I don't know. So anyway, I guess then, to use my way ballyhooed and way overused cliche whatever thing, without further ado, let's get into our first category.
Yeah. What is the first category, Ryan?
So our first category of the Eggy Awards 2019 is the art category.
Okay. So what would that entail?
So the art category consists of art or like artists, designers, illustrators. In the case of the 3 candidates here, they're largely a designer and a couple artists. Some have, some aspect of business in their career or anything, which is probably what got them on this show. But nonetheless, they are all sort of really creative talents, and this isn't a statement about the quality of their abilities or anything like that. This is just, who in this space were the best interviews in our mind this year.
Okay.
So our 3 candidates are as follows. So our first one is Benny Wong. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Benny is I think, New York City-based graphic designer. She appeared on episode 119. Benny and I actually had a really great conversation. I mean, Mike was in the room, but we had this in front of him. This conversation just sort of about relationships and sort of the life of a struggling graphic designer, somebody who works from home and stuff like that. It was, I don't know, for me anyway, it felt like a pretty deep conversation. It was a really good one. So I'm happy to include her here.
So do we want to go into detail on everyone? Because we're going to do that next week when we do the...
on the winners. Yeah, I'm just trying to give enough background that people understand who we're talking about.
Okay.
So, right. But yeah, you're right. We probably don't need to go super long for them anyway, or we'll be here all day.
Yeah.
So second candidate is our dear friend F. Eric Friedensen.
And that was a random one. He just kind of showed up.
Yeah, it was kind of a quickie. Yeah, Eric was in town for the Letter West conference and was kind enough to do a quick drive-by. So I think it was only about a 45-minute show, but he's a great artist, and we were stoked to have him on. The third candidate in this category is Seattle-based artist Keegan Hall.
Yep.
Keegan is an incredible artist. If you haven't seen the work he does, it's a lot of sports-based stuff, a lot of Seahawks gear, does everything in pencil.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just incredible. His work's very good. We had a really great conversation with him about business and art and the business of art and all those things, and I think it was a really great episode. So those are our categories: Benny Wong, Eric F. Friedensen, and Keegan Hall.
In the art category.
Woot, go art category.
Woohoo! And then since we did one for Ryan, we'll do one for me. The music category. First on that list, we have Chase Loader. And Chase is actually, since the time we had him on the show, he's become a really good friend of mine. I kicked it with him last week. It's good times.
Yeah, he appeared in episode 95, so go give him a listen.
Yep.
And we had a really good talk about sort of local Salt Lake scene and all kinds of things, and it was very interesting. It was a great talk.
And then after that, we've got Rico Estrada, who we recorded down in L.A. while we were working with Johnny from OPM, but his aired on episode 89.
Yeah, you may recall this was the sort of the outtake video or outtake episode for people who paid attention to the Aggies last year. The award for the longest episode of all time went to Johnny Necro or John Edney from OPM for
4-hour
capping
marathon.
4 hours of podcasting over 2 episodes.
Yep.
However, right there in the middle of the 2 episodes, he had to split and go get his kid. So this guy Rico stepped in, and it was a cool impromptu conversation. It was really cool.
Yep. And last but not least on the music category is Michael Johnston. He's the lead singer of Small Town Poets.
Yep.
And that was a really good interview as well.
Yep, great conversation, really cool. And I wasn't super aware of their band prior to that interview. But afterwards, I went and checked them out, and they're just, they're a great, talented band. They've been around a long time. And really nice guy, great interview, episode number 98.
Yeah, he was actually going to connect me with the producer for Anne Berlin.
Oh, yeah.
I need to follow up on that.
Yeah, you got to follow up on that, you slacker.
All right.
Well, maybe if he wins, he'll have a reason to talk to him.
Right.
So anyway, the next category is business. So business is a tricky one on this show because, almost every guest we have touches business in one way or another, whether it's a freelance career or they're a CEO of some big corporation or whatever. I mean, there's, some relationship to business. So this was a kind of a tough category to whittle down. I think we did a pretty decent job of finding people that were great interviews for one, work at high levels or have worked at high levels and are, sort of exemplify what you would want in like a high level business person. And yeah, so I think we did a pretty good job checking those boxes. So hopefully these are great fits. Obviously, not everybody can win and not everyone can be nominated. And we had a lot of great business leaders and stuff on the show this year. So it was a tough decision.
Yep. So first on that list is episode 104, and that's Stormy Simon. She was the president of Overstock.
Yeah, past president of Overstock.com.
Yep.
Now she's a cannabis advocate, but we had a really great conversation with her.
Yep.
Also, next on the list, Mikey?
Chris Wallace, episode 122.
Yeah, Chris is like a marketing wizard, episode 122, I think you said, Mike.
Yep.
And as I clearly wasn't listening because I was reading.
It happens to the best of us.
Yeah, so Chris, great conversation with Chris. And then the third and final?
Frank Cottle.
Frank Cottle, he's the founder of, I'm going to screw up the name
Virtual
of the company,
Offices.
Alliance Virtual Offices,
yep.
Is that right? And California-based guy, really established businessman. We had a great conversation that ranged everything from remote work all over the planet to yachting to all kinds of good stuff. So it was a really great conversation with Frank. So I think that's a really strong category. So make sure you go back and take a listen to those other episodes. I think you'll like them.
Yep, and then we our next category, for lack of a better word, motivators.
Yeah, so the motivators are basically people that we've had on over the course of this year that either were strongly motivating in that they had a great message or overcame some huge thing or whatever, and we were motivated by that, or they do like business coaching and things like that, and provided a lot of great commentary there that way as well. So the nominees for the motivators category are Carrie Murphy. She's the CEO of Inspired Living. She appeared on episode 109. Really great conversation. I think that episode in particular, I was just telling Mike when we were trying to figure out this list that particular episode felt for me like we had sort of turned a corner in our show. I felt like our interview was great. I felt like she was a great guest. And for me, that show was pretty impactful. So I am pretty stoked to have her on this list. Next is Michael G. Dash, episode 112.
Author of Chasing the High.
Yep, he was an author, motivational speaker, basically one of these guys that, went from the top to the bottom, back to the top again. Really motivational story, really interesting guy, and I'm thrilled that we had him on.
Yep.
Third and final candidate in this category, in the motivators category, is Josh Steinley. Josh came to us in a time that I was just starting to do some writing in business and things like that. I wish I could remember how he was introduced to us. I think he may have come through an agency or something, but he is a guy that's really accomplished. He owns a big ad agency. He's also got a long career of writing for large publications, including Forbes and Inc. and all these different magazines. And so for me personally, he was pretty impactful in that it sort of set me on the path, or even opened up my mind to the idea of trying to take my writing and get it published somewhere bigger and better.
Which you've been doing quite a bit of lately.
Yeah, I've been working on it quite a bit lately, and I'd be remiss if I didn't thank Josh a little bit for that. So He was episode 110. Go back and take a listen to his show.
And speaking of writing, the next category is writers, or authors might be a better...
Yeah. So this is a tough category because most of the people in this category are both motivational people, coaches, things like that, but also authors of books. And so it was really difficult to decide who made the motivational category versus who just made the author category. And so this category is a little bit of a challenge, but I think after much deliberation, Mike and I arrived on a good set of guests who I think most people, if you go back and listen to their episodes, you might agree with this. So the first candidate in this category, or do I say candidate? Are they candidates?
Candidae.
No, what are they? What are they? Like nominees. The nominees for the Eggy in the writers category is Mark E. Green. Mark is a business coach, motivational speaker, things like that. He happens to write on a lot of the things that I write on as well, and so I felt like we had a lot in common. I shared a lot of great practical advice for people who are starting businesses, things like that. I felt like he was a really good fit for this. He was episode number 121.
Yep. And we also have Adam DeColibus, and he wrote a book, and I am spacing the name of the book. Caravan.
Yep. Adam is the author of this book, Caravan. He's a young guy, but really motivated. He was out fighting to get this book some promotion, and both Mike and I sort of appreciated his
hustle, his
hustle.
grit.
Yeah. So we felt like he was a great addition to this category, so we're happy to include him. He was episode number 102, if you're tuning in.
And then the last on the writers category is Jason Troy.
Yep. Jason is another one of these guys, a business coach, really bright guy. He's written a couple books, I think. When he came on, I think he was just promoting the latest, but he was a really great interview. I think going into it, based on sort of his bio and the things that we knew about him, we weren't 100% sure how it was going to go. But after having a conversation with him, I couldn't be happier with how it ended up.
It turned out great.
Really great. It was really insightful, and there was a lot of actionable stuff in there for our listening audience. So,
which is you.
Yeah. So our third, no, it's not candidate.
Nominee.
Good Lord. So
Canada. I'm going to stick with Canada.
You would think that you would think that we've never done this before. So anyway, our third nominee in the writers category for the Eggy is Jason Troy. So that's it. There is one other category called Best of Show, back to the top of the show where we were joking that we sound like we're at the fair or something. And we are. But we're going to withhold those to the end. Basically, what happens is Mike and I take a look at our catalog over the year, go back, listen to some episodes, put some thought to who we liked best or who was most impactful on us individually for one reason or another. Last year, our moons happened to align, so there was just one winner last year. However, this year we each have different takes for different reasons. So we're really grateful. We're going to split this up, and we're basically going to do a best of show offering or a best of show winner from each of us.
Yep.
So that'll be really cool. So tune in next week to hear it.
Yep. And now join us in welcoming Scott Foster to the conversation.
That's right. And I will apologize in advance. We were a little nonchalant, we were a little sloppy, and we were on a timeline.
Yeah,
we did eat lunch while we were recording this episode.
Yes, we were eating sushi while we did this.
So if you hate food noises, I am so sorry.
Well, I don't think it was that bad. I think
it was okay. There's for sure going to be a munch or two, but skip past that part. Just get to the song. It's a lot of fun. The build up to the song and understanding why he wrote it and all that stuff, I think, is great too, especially this time of year. And so I guess with that, just a couple little parting shots, since we won't talk to you again live until after the holidays. Everybody have an awesome Christmas, a awesome whatever you're celebrating. Tremendous new year. Be safe and understand. And I don't want to speak for Mike, but understand how grateful we are as hosts of this show and as people who put on this show to see our numbers going up every week, meaning that you guys are sharing and telling your friends and all this stuff, all the things that we beg of you to do every week. But we really appreciate you guys actually going out and doing it. It takes a lot of work and a lot of effort, especially on Mike, to get this show produced quick and done well so that we sound great and all this stuff. And we're really grateful that you guys tune in and make it worth doing.
Yeah, I agree. So thank you for that, and thank you for sticking with us, even though we do eat on the air sometimes.
Well, and one last thing too, like just sort of hats off to, not just the sort of 15 nominees that we've got here in these categories, but we did, 50 shows this year, so there's 40 people or 52 shows this year or whatever it is. And so there are people that are left off of this list that definitely are worthy of being on it.
Yep.
It was a really tough decision to whittle this thing down.
Really, we just threw darts at a wall.
Yeah, in some cases, damn it, we almost had to because there were just so many people that were so great. And so, to our guests and everybody who's come on and been a part of our show, thank you so much. It's impossible without you. So we're grateful for all that as well. So have a Merry Christmas, have a Happy New Year, have a great Hanukkah or whatever's left, Kwanzaa's or whatever's left in December.
Yeah.
And and we'll see you guys in the new year. Enjoy the Eggies next week, and we'll talk to you soon.
Check 1, 2.
There you go. Can you hear yourself?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, you want to start this off?
Yep.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Eggs. This is kind of a little different. We're having lunch with a friend, and the friend is Scott Foster. He was on this time last year with Ian Foster. He's one of the guys from Bering Sea Gold, and we talked about that, and they did a Christmas song, something taking Christmas back from Santa, and we had recorded that before, and so he had a couple of speakers of mine and used them for an event and just brought them back. So he's brought them back, and we talked him into coming on the show for a little bit, and we're just going to do kind of a holiday rendition of the Egg Show. So
yeah, it's kind of fun. Like there's him eating food. Here's me eating food.
Yeah, we're
having lunch. Thanks.
Shout out to Sushi
Burrito number 8 in Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
So I didn't know there were more than one, but apparently
There's 8
there's
of
at
them?
least 8. This one is restaurant number 8.
Have you had these before,
shout
Scott?
out to those guys.
Once.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, super solid. So we're digging on the sushi burritos. We're all having the volcano burrito, which is a win. We also have some tempura veggies and some pot stickers that you will all get to hear us eat. So that's pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
See,
So
sushi burrito's it's a libertarian concept because some authoritative chef doesn't predetermine the size of each bite.
You know?
I get to determine the size of each bite.
it's true.
Now, my burrito.
Yeah, for me, it's more of a factor of convenience. Sushi is one of those things you don't often get to take on the road. It's like and so I like that it's in this handy dandy little carrier, and which is made out of uncut sushi, and you basically could take it in the car with you. So I like that as a matter of
chopsticks.
convenience.
Well, it's
Yep,
like
not necessary.
It's like the restaurant in Phoenix that we always talk about called
Chino
Chino Banditos.
Banditos.
It's called the Chinese food and the burrito. Essentially, this is the same thing, but with sushi, and I'm cool with that.
Yeah, it's the Japanese equivalent. I like it.
How you been, man? It's been a while. We haven't, at least a year since we talked to you, at least on the show.
Right.
So, you still in Salt Lake?
Live in Salt Lake City. I've been. I've got a couple new jobs that I've tacked on to my music career.
Uh-huh.
So I've been hired to teach a rock band class
Really?
at an all-girls academy. So it's like an arts-based therapeutic academy.
That's cool. Is that here in Salt Lake?
It's here in Salt Lake,
So you're a professor in the School of Rock.
essentially.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Except for not the brand School of Rock, because they
Correctly.
also happen to have a school here.
Yeah, they actually call it I think they just call it rock band class.
That's
Which
cool.
people are like, oh, you teach people how to play Rock Band, the video game? I'm like, no.
Yes, but we also learn instruments.
No, it's like band class, but instead of symphonic band or jazz band or show band, it's rock band, okay?
So how long have you been doing this?
Since September.
Did they give you a criteria, like an outline of what you have to have to follow. You
I
just
have
kind of.
complete liberty to do whatever the hell I want.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. So do you teach like aspects of songwriting and all that kind of stuff too, or do you just play other people's music? Like, is it more of a learn how to play instruments class or a, all around, if you were to be in a rock band kind of course?
It's kind of all of the above. There's really no specific criteria, and there's no it's really just my discretion, And it's funny because they started out looking at it as like, well, these kids, a lot of them have music talent, and so if you can just take care of them for 3 hours, keep them out of our hair, and don't allow any problems to happen, we're happy. So just so I think they viewed it originally as kind of like a Mr. Mary Poppins position where I just make something out of the kids. It doesn't really matter what.
So are you like recruiting from the band class and saying, hey, you play a mean trombone?
I haven't had to do that, oddly enough. But they originally, it was one class, and there was like 11 or 12 kids. And I'm like, I got to find something for each one of these kids to do,
How many of them did you assign the salt shakers and the wood blocks?
Yeah, the shaker egg and the djembe, and you play the little djembe because it's quieter. But actually, some of the kids in the class are amazingly talented.
That's cool.
Like there's several girls in there that are just really talented. They've got great voices. Some of them have a fantastic ear for music or ear for harmony, and it's been an absolute pleasure. And they ended up dividing the 3-hour block into 2 smaller classes. So
You got more one-on-one with the students.
I get more one-on-one, and then I can each class. We spend a lot of time listening to music, which oddly enough, some of these girls, like their favorite music, and we're talking girls that are like age 12 to 17. Their favorite music is like Nirvana.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like, what? This
Yeah.
is what all the alt kids were listening to when I was a kid, and that
it's
was like
coming back
30 years
around.
ago.
Are they wearing the flannel with the ripped jeans and the?
Some of them are, but
Yeah.
they've got like their own spin on it.
Yeah.
They're like using whiteout to draw on their leggings and stuff.
You know what? So like Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas" is one of the top trending tracks right now. It's made a resurgence. It came out like '96 or whatever, and it's
Thank
huge
God, I've
right
been
now.
missing it.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, I played it last Saturday, and everyone was singing along with it, having a blast. And I just kind of threw it on because someone requested it, and I, whatever. But it's weird how music does that.
Well, yeah, I honestly don't even remember it going away. I feel like that song's been in my ear, like burrowing for some time now.
Right.
The one that I just can't seem to get rid of is that "Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas."
Yeah, that one's the
I'm
worst.
like, oh, like that kills me.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
another one that's been a long time rival of mine. That's the one that's like, it's the holiday season, so whoop-de-doo, dickory-dock, so all this stuff. It's nonsense. I hate it. But on the converse, I fell in love with Dominic the Italian Christmas Donkey.
Oh, that's a good
pretty
one.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, good times.
So
Cool. Well, so we have limited time here. So we were going to see if you'd be kind enough to do a little Christmas jam for us in the spirit of the holidays. So if you haven't been thoroughly grossed out by all these food noises and
crunch, crunch.
but he's got a heart out here in the next
15
20 minutes, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So I thought it might be cool to get the song out of the way and then sort of talk about it, where it came from. I'm sure it's got some deep inspiration. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, let's just take care of all the big things first.
Yeah. It's kind of on the same line as the Taking Christmas Back from Santa, right? It's a spoof on a Christmas song.
It is, yeah. Where, Ian, his Taking Back Christmas from Santa was such an awesome song.
It's gotten, like, I posted on my SoundCloud about this time last year, and it's got a couple hundred plays off of it, and I don't know if it's just you guys sharing with your friends or whatever, but it seemed to
I haven't shared
get some traction.
Well, it's more his song, so it's up to him to promote it. But there's like the line in there is like, "Where's Mrs. Claus in all this? Does she like you spying on kids?" It's just
it's the perfect Christmas song in my opinion, because I am not a Christmas person, and it just kind of sums it all up for me.
yeah. So with this song, what I did is I took Santa Baby, where it's so cliche, it's cute. There's this girl, and all she wants is all these material things, and she's talking all like, Marilyn Monroe to
Santa
to
Claus.
Jack Kennedy, you know? Exactly. And so I just thought, well, what would Santa Claus say back to her? And so I just call it Santa Daddy.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, no, it's been funny this year, and you can tell that it's like we got so much of this like Me Too stuff in the news and all this stuff. Like it's permeated even my kids. So I have a 12-year-old and an 8-year-old, and now every time they hear that song, they're like, "Oh my God, she's so superficial. Like, how could anybody be that way?" Like, you know, all
Just
this
you
stuff.
wait, just age maybe
Yeah, it's
10
like
years.
it's gonna get worse.
Half the like, so I'm single, and when I get on Tinder or Bumble, you will very frequently see, you've heard of Tinder and Bumble,
Yeah.
there's dating apps,
Yeah.
right? Very frequently you will come across profiles where some young girl, she's like, so I'm really just looking for a sugar daddy. Here's my Venmo me some money. I'm trying to pay for school, and
I wonder
see
how
what
often that
happens.
works.
Venmo me and see what happens. Oh, I'm sure there's some desperate, lonely mother effers out there
Yeah.
that are just like,
Here's
she'll
$100.
I can get attention from her, you know. So they Venmo her $50, and she'll probably send her like a screenshot of some other nude chick.
Yeah. That's probably the case.
It's probably some terrorist. It's probably not even girls. It's probably some terrorist who's just like, you know, he's hijacking photos online, creating false profiles, and
Yeah,
then trying
using
to
this money to feed terrorism.
exactly. But nonetheless, so you've got that, and then like everybody's freaking about Baby It's Cold Outside.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, no,
So
I
it's-
heard, who is it? John Legend and somebody else rolled out a new PC version of it this year.
It's hysterical.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
What was the line in there that was so offensive?
Well, that whole song is like pretty rapey, but there's the whole thing about like, don't go home, grab another drink, hang out, you know.
Well, it's the whole premise to me is just a dude hitting on a girl.
Yeah, normal.
yeah, he's just trying to get her to kick into the house and not go.
And
It's
show
cold
me,
outside.
show
Here's your
me a girl
excuse.
that doesn't like being pursued.
Right.
See, it's not the pursuit that's creepy. It's the guy doing the pursuing. Just like I've had to learn this, like at the gym. We've set a precedent. Girls don't want to be picked up on at the gym. That's a false precedent. Girls don't want to be harassed by creepy guys
Yeah.
at the gym.
Yeah.
Right? If the man of her dreams strolls in and is like respectful and kind to her, maybe builds a little rapport over the course of several days instead of like trying to get her to sleep with him like on the bench press.
Come on, that's a good spot.
Here, let me spot for you, babe.
Yeah, but it's everybody is taking the extreme case and then trying to use that to paint with a broad brush over every scenario. And you see that everywhere. You see that politically. You see that from people trying to get clickbait to people just wanting to make fun of an old song where it's kind of a cute song where
Yeah.
just like this dude's like trying to coax the girl into like, don't go home just yet, you know?
Yeah.
I'm
Any-
sure that
any
was the
excuse to
premise
keep her
of the
here.
song to begin with. So what changed? What made it so offensive? You know, it's been around for 30
yeah,
years.
it's all context. I mean, it might even be older than that, actually. And the thing with that song, and it just it cracks me up because it has so much to do with sort of the current mindset and the current, like, I don't know, the way that the lens people are seeing things through. The one example that always makes me laugh, my little kid loves this song, you know, Wake Up Little Susie, right? From like the 50s or 60s, right? The whole thing is they went to this guy's house to watch a movie. They fell asleep. And oh my God, if their friends find out that she didn't get home on time, could you imagine what they would think that might have gone down?
Yeah.
They didn't do anything. They weren't being scandalous. They weren't doing any of these rap lyrics. None of that stuff. All they did was fall asleep watching a movie, and she got home after curfew. But oh my God, if word spreads to her friends, can you imagine what would happen?
Right.
And it's like it's just such a clear indicator of the difference or like where we are in society. When
Yeah.
back then, you know, it would have been so disrespectful or it would have been so whatever to, you know,
taboo.
yeah, like it
To
would have been
now
such a
it's
weird
like
thing.
every other
and
word.
now it's like, you know, bitches and hoes. Like it's a totally different world.
Yeah. And you know, I heard this on Joe Rogan. I think he's the one who said this. It's not even that anybody is genuinely offended by that song. It's that people are motivated by sensationalism.
Yes.
And they're motivated by getting attention. And so they're using as a platform.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They're using shock values. And so it's like, if I can show how shocked I am and how offended I am, I've just added value to whatever my whatever I'm putting out there on social
well,
media.
and then we end up rewarding the bigger, not like we specifically, but we, the royal we,
Generalization, yeah.
end up sort of, rewarding those big reactions by letting them go viral or whatever. It's not unlike this Peloton thing that's been going on lately with the commercial where the wildly fit person got a new bike. Like, I mean, it's like, there's a way to do that ad that's super hyper offensive, and then now on it, to be PC even in our own world, I can't speak for like the woman's perspective on that, but clearly a fitness person, clearly into this sort of thing, and this device that her husband bought her, which is really expensive by the way,
Right.
is somehow offensive to her sensibilities, but had it been the same ad where he bought her an Audi A8, it would have been nothing, or that new Mercedes, it's all good, but if it comes down to personal fitness, then it's a problem.
Right.
And so, like, the commentary that comes with it is totally different. And it's such a weird spot.
And I mean, and I could go down this rabbit hole for ages, but coming back to, so the context of the song is you've got like Santa or Santa baby, do all these things for me. And it's like, so I just thought if I were Santa, I'd be thinking, all right, girl, what's in it for me?
All right, I got your
And
yacht.
That's what
gonna cost you.
Santa Daddy is all about. And it's meant to be creepy. It's not meant to offend anybody. It's just meant to be like funny and risque. And it's like, you know what? If girls can be like parading around in vagina hats, and like rappers can be like posting videos of money falling with twerking asses all over the place, then I can sing a rhetorical song about Santa, wanting something in exchange for all this bling he's dishing out.
I love it. Cool. Well, yeah, so we got about 10 more minutes with you, so let's go ahead and get this thing going, man.
Yeah, pull up that mic that's over there by it.
This is our first time actually doing a live performance during the show.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and adjust cameras and stuff on the fly so you can see things. So pardon our lack of preparedness.
Scoot this way just a little bit if you can, and then pull that. Yep.
Just do one of these.
Yeah, there we go.
Now I don't have all the hardware in my face.
I know.
That's right. We got to see that handsome smile.
You want to see if you can get some audio on this guitar here?
Yeah, go ahead and strum away. I think we're on the right channel there.
Come on now, guitar. Come into my headphones.
Let me see if we got that there. Mic 4. Turn the game. Strum a little more.
So while Mike's getting this set up, I'll give you a quick little lunch update. So lunch was good.
Yeah.
So the sushi burritos
Oh, and
were
it's
good.
not over.
And we're still noshing here. So that's a win.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
Are you getting it in your headphones? Yeah.
Sounds
There it
good over
goes.
here. I can hear it.
There we go.
All
Okay.
right.
All right, cool. Well, me and Michael shut up, and here we go with Santa Daddy.
All right, here we go. And a 1, and a 2, and a 1, 2. Santa Daddy is waiting for you under the tree. Let's see how good a girl you can be. Santa Daddy is gonna be your daddy tonight. Little darling, all the beautiful gifts from me, you know they came at a price, not free. So who you calling daddy tonight? Think of all the fun we've missed, all the mistletoe we've seen but haven't kissed. We got to make up for lost time. So what do you say, your place or mine? Santa Daddy is waiting for you dressed in a stocking cap and wearing nothing else but that. So who you calling daddy tonight? Don't take me literally, but I want to come and light your Christmas tree. And likewise, you can light mine. So what do you say, your place or mine? Santa Daddy is searching for a Mrs. Claus, and
homie isn't down with reindeer paws. So let me smoke your chimney tonight. So come and smoke my chimney tonight. So let me smoke your chimney tonight.
And with that note, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holiday.
Merry effing Christmas.
Well, thanks, Scott. I appreciate you coming in.
I mean, I would love to, ask you deep stories about the inspiration and the trauma, whatever else happened in your life that led to this. But no, I think it's pretty on the nose. So that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for doing that, man.
Thanks
I really
for having me,
appreciate it.
guys.
Yeah, not a problem.
Yeah, lots of fun. So cool. So everybody stick with us. I think we're going to have a little more show either before or after this. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Anywhere they can find your music online?
Right now, basically just 2 places. I've got a CD in the works that should be out here. I'm hoping like March.
Nice.
That's going to have some new good stuff on it. But until then, the best place is my YouTube and my Instagram. So at Scott Foster Rock.
Perfect.
All right.
Very
Killer.
simple.
All right. Everybody check them out and enjoy the latest hit, Santa Daddy. Woohoo. We'll see y'all next time.
That was hilarious.
That's awesome.
They coming to